So now let's take a look at Motext. Now this is a Mograph specific text object that works with all of the objects and effectors in Mograph. What we can do here, we can go in and we can put in the text that we want. We can choose a font. And this will allow us to apply effectors to this text object without having to do any additional work. So it's a really nice piece of the Mograph module. I'm just going to take my horizontal spacing out like that. I'm going to drop a camera in the scene. I'm going to change it to 1280 by 720. And zero the camera out. Okay, now let's look through the camera. And then we're just going to pull straight back. We're looking right at our text like this. I'm going to get out of the camera so that we can see what the scene looks like. And that's what we have. Now, right now, our timeline is 0 to 90 frames. I'm going to change that to 60 frames. And what I want to do here is I want to have this text come up to the camera, but I want it to start off invisible, and as it moves toward the camera, become visible, and then sort of spring as it comes closer to the camera. So we're going to add a couple of effectors to our Motext to make that happen. Now, the first thing I'm going to add, I'm going to click on my Motext. I'm going to come up to Mograph. I'm going to go to Effector and Plane. I'm going to put the Plane effector on here. Now, this is where the Plane effector is sitting right now. I'm going to come over here to the Fall Off. I'm going to change that to Linear. I'm going to move it up here. Now, by default, when you come to the parameter, it's set to Position. So I'm going to zero that out. You can see that the text just went down. See that? I'm going to come over to Scale and enable Scale. Click on Uniform Scale. Type in -1 here. You can see that my text disappears. Now, I want this to happen over a longer period of time. And I want it to happen as the text moves closer to the camera. So I'm going to come back to the Fall Off tab of the Plane effector. Let's move this down. I am going to take the Fall Off all the way to 100%. And then I want to turn on the Invert button. So now, when the text moves forward, it's going to appear. Now, let me just turn off the Plane effector for a second so that we can animate this text coming forward. So I'm going to go back into the camera view, go to the four-way view, and from my side view, I'm going to animate the text so we can see it here. So at 0, with the text selected, I'm going to go to the Coordinates tab. With the X, Y, and Z positions selected, I'm going to Control or Command click there to set a keyframe at 0. Then I'm going to move to 20, and I'm going to move in the right view my text forward, maybe there. And then I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to set another keyframe. Now, I want to move my camera up a little bit and over just a tad bit so that we kind of center that up better. Okay. So now we have this animation going on. And actually, I probably might want to move this back even further. So let's select the text again, move it back even further, something like that, and then set another keyframe at 0. So now we have it doing this. Let's come up here, uncheck the camera view so that we can see this happening again, and let's enable the Plane effector. So here's the Plane effector. I'm going to move this up a little bit. And I want this to happen over this span. So now, when we move forward, we can see that our text becomes visible as it passes through the Plane effector. Go into the camera view. We play this. That's what we have. Now, in order to get the springy effect that I want, we're going to have to use another effector called the Delay effector. So again, with the Motext selected, I'm going to come to Mograph, go to the effectors, and select Delay. Now, Delay has a few options, so if we select it, and we come over to the Effector tab, we can select Spring, move that up to maybe 80%. And now if we play this, we can see that we have some spring going on. And if we come to the parameters, we can see that it's happening in the position, scale, and rotation. So really, we only want it in the position. Let's stop this for 1 second. Let's take a look at this in the camera view. And look at the parameters for the plane effector. Let me change this to something like 800. And let me go back to the delay effector. Let's turn on scale. There we go. That's kind of what we're looking for. All right, so come out of here and see this from a different view. Basically, using Motext and a couple effectors, we were able to create something that you just wouldn't be able to do without something like Mograph.